Hi there, my name is Eric. I'm a kicking coach who makes kicking videos from time to time. So today we're going to talk about how to stay relaxed during your field goals, during games, just in life in general. So stay tuned. So we've all been there as an athlete. You're about to go onto the field to play your position, kick your field goal, have a big kickoff. You know, there's something on the line that you are going out there to do and perform at a high level for. And most likely you've got the butterflies, you're a little nervous, you have a hard time like catching your breath, your heart's beating really fast. These are things that are totally natural, but we're going to talk about a few things that you can do to help relieve that stress and sort of remove the nervousness from the situation. So I think one of the first things that you need to do in order to remove that feeling of being really nervous is to realize that it's really just a thought. You know, it shouldn't have any impact on your actual life because it's not a physical thing, it's a thought. It has no bearing on what will actually happen unless you allow it to happen. So what I mean by that is if you feel nervous, realize first that it is a thought. You can either accept it and move on and sort of overcome it, or let it consume you and have it actually have an outcome on whatever your reality is. So that being said, what we do is, let's say we get nervous, we pay attention to what this is. Okay, it's a thought, nervous for whatever reason. And a lot of times you're nervous for nothing. There's nothing to be scared about because you've done this a lot of times before. You're on the team for a reason. You know what you're doing. The coach trusts you to do this skill. So you're going to be fine. It's just a matter of overcoming that thought and being able to get past it. So how do we do that? Well, for starters, if you are nervous, try visualizing something. Visualizing yourself doing that act to perfection, to where there are no flaws. You are doing it exactly the way that you should be doing it and the way that you would like it to look. I wish my car did that. I got a computer fan for a car. So what I mean is, let's say you're nervous about, kicking a field goal to win the game. First of all, you've kicked a million field goals by now, I'm sure. You've kicked so many field goals that you know how your body should react. You know what your body needs to do. You just need to trust it. Trust your swing and let it happen. First of all, is remove the scared outcome from whatever will happen, because you're in control of the situation. You are in control of your thoughts. Don't let your thoughts be in control of you. So now once we've moved past the barrier of being nervous as far as the internal thoughts and you're starting to visualize the success that you want, let's start thinking about overcoming the thought in general of I'm going to do X, Y, Z, and flip it on its head to more of a positive outcome, where instead of you thinking of yourself doing it in a bad way, you're seeing yourself performing it at a high level, but also believing in it in your head to know that it will be the desired outcome that you're looking for. So rather than you thinking of, the million things that could go wrong with your sport or your position, your field goal or whatever, let's think of, you're going to do it. First, you believe it happens and you feel it happening as if you made the kick, you have your team run over, everyone's celebrating, you know that feeling and you internalize it. So that's a big way to overcome that feeling of nervousness. The next is to just have fun, right? So just remove the stress from it all. Hang out with a friend for a little bit, or someone on the sideline, just chop it up with them, talk about something, maybe talk some trash to the other team. Maybe you do, maybe you don't do that, up to you. Throw the ball around with someone, sort of just remove the pressure from your head. Go sit down if you want, go stretch, hit a few into the net, just sort of keep yourself loose, just shake it off, honestly. Like, don't allow that thought to get bigger and bigger and bigger. You got to attack it, let it go. Let the balloon pop, per se. Once the balloon pops, you're moving on to the next thing. Just, again, your mind is a lot more powerful than people think. It's about 90% of kicking. So if you are able to, say, hey, okay, I know that I'm in control of this situation. I'm going to allow myself to be in control of this situation. It'll work out a lot more times than you'd imagine. Just the simple thought of, okay, I am in control, and then paying attention to that, overcoming your thoughts, and then moving forward is huge. But out of everything that you can do, you can visualize, you can be positive, you can have fun. So let's say you do control your thoughts, you're able to visualize the success, you're able to do everything that we talked about in this video so far, and it works great. Those are all awesome. But truthfully, my personal favorite for the fastest way to overcome nervousness is to control your breathing. So let's talk about that for a second. Your brain and heart have a huge impact on your performance in game. So if you let your brain go wild and you start letting your heart just beat out of control, it's very, very, very hard to calm down in the moment. Every single time that I've ever been nervous in my entire life, after learning how important breathing is, that is my go-to solution. So try it for yourself. The next time you feel extremely nervous, your heart's beating fast, you're getting butterflies, your thoughts are racing a million miles an hour, take a deep breath for about 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and hold that for 4 seconds, and then repeat. So it's a 4-second interval of a breath. Now this is called the box breathing method. It works great. I'm a huge fan of it. There's a few other things that you can do. You can do meditation, you can do Wim Hof method. There's a few other breathing techniques that are out there in the world. Those are all great. But in all reality, whatever the case is, however you decide to breathe, just take some deep breaths. And when I say deep breaths, I mean much deeper than you think. It is not really a deep breath. I mean, really focusing on the exhale. That exhale is huge. I would even say a 5 to 8 second inhale and a 5 to 8 second exhale. Doing that until you feel much better is a much better way than just one deep breath. You can do that too. You can do a 1 deep breath, that's fine. But I think if you're really over the top nervous, do a couple, do a few, maybe 5, 10 repeat breaths in a row. And then during that time, let's say you're looking at the uprights or you're looking at the rim or something, and you're focusing on doing very well in that position or that sport or whatever it is you're doing. Maybe you're in the game, maybe you don't have time for all that. That's totally fine. The main thing is here, when you have a second, take at least 1 deep breath, but make it a good one. Make it a really impactful breath for yourself. Like, there are hundreds of studies revolving around how breathing affects our life. It affects our sleep, it affects our energy, it affects our mood. So let's take control of it, especially in something as high level as playing a sport. Let's use our breath to the max ability, right? Let's use it for us, not against us. We want to use it and have it as a superpower almost. But at the end of the day, if that still doesn't work and you're still really, really, really nervous, that's okay. That means that you care. That means that you're actually wanting to play this sport or do this thing or be in this business or do this job. It's all involved in the same environment or universe. It's like, if you care enough, yes, you will be nervous, and that's totally fine. But at least we now know there's a few ways that we can combat that and relax a little bit more so that we can perform at a higher level. And the last thing I'm going to touch on is, if you still are very nervous, like I said earlier, you can use it almost as a superpower. You can use those nerves as almost like a trick to your brain to say, this is a superpower. This is how I can excel at whatever it is I'm doing. And what I mean by that is, if you're very nervous about something, like I said, it's sometimes a good thing. But you can almost say, okay, this is an extra burst of energy and an extra jolt that I need to do well. Now let's try to couple that with breathing, right? And also the positive thoughts and affirmations and visualizations, all that, that's great. But let's try to use it with us along and add like a cherry on top. You know, if you're over the top nervous, cool. Hey brain, I'm really nervous. Let's use this and put a little bit more adrenaline into the ball. Still trust your swing, trust your technique. You've practiced this 1,000 times. Don't forget that muscle memory, but allow that to become a part of your, mindset or routine. Next time you're out in the field, use that as like I said, a trick in your brain to be almost a superpower in your sport. So try it for yourself. Next time you get nervous, just remember, you've done this 1,000 times. You've practiced this a lot. You've already done your breathing. You've already done everything you can to relax. Now it's just time to have fun, let loose, and just whatever happens, happens. Realistically, 10 years from now, that moment that you're in isn't going to be that serious. So you might as well have a little bit of fun with it. But almost every single time you will be perfectly fine. It's just your brain has a really good way of tricking us into thinking the situation's much worse than it really is. So next time you're in that situation, breathe, relax, let it go, have fun. You've done it 1,000,000 times. you're gonna be totally fine. I appreciate you watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I'm doing some cool stuff with my subscribers really soon. But at the end of the day, I'm always open for ideas, video ideas. Leave a comment below on anything that you want to see more of. But other than that, have a great rest of your day. We'll talk soon.